Hi, and welcome to the February limited series of the Wine of the Month Club. I'm here with my co-host, Paul Kalemkiarian Jr. Very good. You see how we did that? I was wondering when he was going to figure that one out.
Well, it's true. We are co-hosts.
We are co-hosts. Yeah.
What are we tasting then?
I don't know.
Since you wanted to start this one.
We got some fabulous wines. Paul did a little number on me, and I have to vent now because he gave me the same producer for both limited series wines. Came from Gerard, Bertrand. So it's really hard to write something different about the same guy each time, but somehow, some way, I even fooled myself, I was able to pull it off.
Well, how about this?
How about this?
Elvis has not left the building, and I would like him to leave the building because I have like a pile of this stuff. Actually, it's a pretty good, decent little wine. Obviously, Elvis does not have a vineyard.
You're kidding.
No.
Oh.
I'm really
disappointed.
Cabernet does not do well in Memphis.
I see.
But it's a good wine. Have some fun with it. You have friends that are Elvis fans. This Gerard Bertrand came himself to the Wine of the Month Club a few months ago.
How do you know it was really Gerard Bertrand?
Junior / Roman numeral 2 / 3. But what I liked about this, the south of France. If I told Paul Senior that we were featuring south of France wines in the limited series, you're like, oh,
yeah, I know.
It used to be, but boy, it has changed down there.
Well, it's changed dramatically, and to this guy's credit, Gerard Bertrand has been one of the main forces in bringing up the total quality of the Languedoc, and especially the area that he's in, which is one of the better areas anyway, called the Coteaux de Languedoc. These wines are now as good as any wines in France. I mean, they are just spectacular, and this wine is certainly evidence of that.
Very new world, which I really like about it.
I wouldn't go quite that far. It's still Syrah and Mourvedre.
Oh, there's no question the Syrah and the Mourvedre, that licorice and gamey part that comes from the Mourvedre and the Syrah's game, it would go so well with gamey meats, but it's not that musty sort of old south of France character.
Well,
it's kind of bright and kind of got a lot of fruit in it.
Well, because they cleaned out their barrels, they did a little bit more work in the vineyard, and it's amazing what you can do. I mean, there's some great areas in the Languedoc and the Coteaux de Languedoc, and that entire area in southwest France is huge. It's the biggest area in France for making wine. And
one of the things I do when I taste wines and I evaluate them, when we're down there, I've got 75 wines to do that Tuesday, is when I want to choose, will I take this home and have it? Mm-hmm. Will I drink it myself at the price that I'm offering it at? And I would do this at twice the price almost. It's such quality wine. The wine would normally be $23.99. We sent it out at $19.99. You can buy more for $16.99. I gave it 91 points. I think relative to other wines in that region, this vintage,
it's a 93. Yeah. And you got one thing you got to understand about this area, the Languedoc. It's just a mere few miles, 20 or 30 miles from Châteauneuf-du-Pape, from the Southern Rhone. So it's not that much different. They use a lot of the same grapes. In this particular case, it's Syrah and Mourvedre, which are two of the principal grapes in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. And you couldn't buy Châteauneuf-du-Pape for $16.99 by a long shot. You can't even buy Côte de Rhone for $16.99 today.
No. And you're right on with your character, the blueberry, the game, and the earth. But I get that a little bit of acid in the very, very finished, drying acid that's going to just propel this wine for years.
Well, it's a kind of wine you can have with roasted meats. You can have it with stews. You can have it with meats that are, have a lot of flavor to it, grilled over an open fire, or very, very simply roasted. I mean, it'll just stand up to anything. And again, great viscosity, beautiful color, a spectacular bottle of wine.
91.93. Okay, so the problem you had now with the Chardonnay, because I did the white and the thing with the same guy, but there's a lot to write about this Chardonnay because it is not an overdone Chardonnay. It's really took advantage of the terroir of the district and the region and the weather. And you got a nice, crisp, bright Chardonnay out of this wine. I really
well, what's amazing about this wine is that it's Chardonnay and it's in the Coteaux de Languedoc. I mean, there's like 3 vines of Chardonnay when Gerard Bertrand bought his vineyard there, about 10 or 15 years ago, and he is one of the pioneers in Chardonnay. And why? We're not quite sure until you taste the wine. You go, wow, this is really good.
You wrote fresh apple, and that is the first thing in the nose. It's just all green apple, and it's just, when we reopened this, I haven't tasted this since it landed here, and it's thrilling, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, really pretty bottle of wine. And
it tells you it's Chardonnay.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of neat about it, right? You get this too much oak in California sometimes, you can't tell what grape it is, but this is Chardonnay.
But it's not overly done either. It's got some great fruit component. $20.99 was the regular price. First bottle went out at $19.99, and the reorder price is $16.99.
Okay, $16.99, you're going to get chain item California Chardonnays.
Right. We don't want to mention
Or-
any names, but you know who they are.
Yes. Or something completely different from the south of France. I gave it. Oh man, it's a mistake.
Oh gosh, here he goes again. 89 points. I don't get
It's
it.
a mistake. This is like a silly theme.
It is
92 points.
92 points. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
No, really, thank you.
All right. The alternates. Well, let's see. What are the alternates here?
Lava Rock.
Lava Rock.
Napa Valley.
This was a
again.
fun wine to write about because these guys, I love it because they don't take themselves too seriously, but they take the wine seriously. They got great senses of humor. They love to fool around. They love to have their website's hilarious. It's got a lot of funny things going
Look at the
on.
color of the bubbles. Just purple.
This is a Syrah
man.
Merlot, which is interesting because the Gerard Bertrand was a Syrah Mourvedre blend, and this is a Syrah Merlot blend. And, you know, they're sort of similar blends in terms of the fact they both have Syrah, and Mourvedre's got some high notes that Merlot has. They're totally different wines.
Totally.
You know, completely different wines.
The beauty of this one is that Merlot comes out in the finish, which makes it softer than a Mourvedre finish, and it's not that gamey finish. It's got bright fruit in it.
It's really bright. Very big wine. Absolutely delicious.
I can see I screwed up the rating on this one too.
Another 89 pointer. Here's a limited series wine that goes out at $15 on the reorders. Absolutely spectacular. Look at this. It takes like 3 days for this wine to come down after you've
It's really something.
yeah, I mean, you could leave this wine here and come back to the next day. It's going to be fantastic.
It's still going to be dripping down the
Matter of fact, you can come back to the empty glass and it's going to taste delicious. But you know what?
$21.99, $16.99 for the first bottle, which is ridiculously cheap or inexpensive, and $14.99 for the reorders. And there's nothing on the shelf at $14.99 that's as good as this.
No, it's really a terrific bottle of wine, and I think it'd go great with just about anything you want to throw at it. So, once again, we have to up the ante. 92 points without question.
I agree. Did you get that now that's been opened in the glass a little bit? That Syrah jumps out of the glass, and I love how it just turns into the Merlot. Kind of migrates through.
That was really good, Paul.
I know.
That was very nice.
No,
It was almost
poetic.
Yeah.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
so-
Okay.
Let's taste the white one.
He's learning. If we can just get him on the point score, we got it made.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last alternate is Isabel. Love this winery. Absolutely love them. Relatively new, even by New Zealand standards. They were founded in 1982. Their big gun, of course, is Sauvignon Blanc, which they're one of the best. But they also make great Pinot Noir and this unbelievable Pinot Gris.
I forgot about this nose.
You forgot about that.
Well, this is why I fell in love with the wine when I first tasted it. Because, you know, the nose, right? The palate supports the nose. It's what you smell is what you're going to get.
Oh, man, is that like a basket of flowers?
It's just going on, ain't it?
It's a basket of flowers. Just all kinds of ripe fruit and very almost sweet, but it's not. It finishes really dry, really crisp. Great with just about anything
And
you
I
can
think
throw
the
at
age
it.
of this, is being a 2007, has done it a lot of good.
Absolutely. No, it'll just keep
absolutely
getting
love
better. These wines are world-class wines. Anything with Isabel's label on it, I guarantee you, you're going to love. Regular price is $17.99, which is a steal at that price. The first bottle went out at $15.99. The reorder price is $13.99. How does he do it? Ladies and gentlemen, how does he do it?
I don't know.
I don't either.
But we should get rid of them because you can't be making any money.
At least he
with
gave
prices.
it. At least he gave it 90 points.
Right.
You know, it's at least a 92-point wine. If you want to compare it to Pinot Gris from New
Yes.
Zealand,
Which you don't see a lot, folks.
no.
You know, by the way, we had an email special out, $4.99 for a bottle of Sterling Alpert Cabernet 2006, Sonoma County. And,
Paul, by the time
I know,
they
I don't
see
know.
this, it's going to be gone.
well, no, we can still get, that's a good point.
It's going to be
The next
gone.
email special is coming, don't worry about it.
If there's any of that Sterling Albert Cabernet, buy as much as you can afford. Get somebody else's credit card because you're not going to believe that
Because you
one.
can buy it for us or you can buy it for somewhere else for $12.99. But it really sold for $25.
$25, yeah. And it's $6.
And it won a bronze medal at the San Francisco Chronicle competition at $26.
Was it $5.99 or $4.99?
$4.99.
Oh, my God.
All right. Hey,
Cheers.
good seeing you at February limited series, and we'll see you next month.